Thank you, Kathy. I hope you can hear me okay.
I hear you.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so this new segment, it's called Blues Talk, and the idea of this is to convey some blues education or history or blues trips that people might have taken to Clarksdale or the Blues Trail or Chicago Blues Clubs or whatever topic you guys think would be interesting for the blues membership. Next week we're going to do the Clarksdale video that was on PBS. But this week, what I'm going to do is talk about the 12 bar blues. A lot of times at the jams over the previous years, you would go into the jam, and the audience would, a lot of times you get the question, how do you know what to play when you get up there? You know, or you get a question like, how do you guys all play together like that? Or how do you know all those songs? Well, actually, you don't. The key to the whole thing, and this is the blues 12 bar progression, which is the foundation of blues. And every musician that goes into a jam is aware of the 12 bar progression. So I'm going to talk about that tonight, but this isn't geared towards musicians. This talk is going to be geared towards non-musicians that are part of the blues membership. So if you're a musician, it's going to be pretty boring for you. You could just, put your mute on and go ahead and practice a little bit. But I want to explain to the common person that's out in the audience that attends the blues jams, like how us guys get up there and play this music. What's it all about? How does it tie together? What makes it gel? So I'm going to start with describing what a bar is. A bar is a measure. If you know what a measure is in music, have you ever heard a song start off 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start playing? Well, there's 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's a bar or a measure. So you have a 4-beat bar, and there's going to be 12 of those. That's why it's called 12 bar blues. But there are certain patterns that 12 bar blues is going to follow. And that's the common knowledge point that all the musicians know when they get up on that stage. The next thing besides knowing that pattern is what key you're going to be in. So for example, let's say we're in the key of G, right? The 12 bar blues has a certain pattern, and the basic pattern is going to play a G chord for 4 measures, 4 beats per measure. So that's four measures, 4 bars. Then it switches, if it's in the key of G, it switches to a C chord for 2 more bars, 2 more measures. 1, 2. Then it switches back to the G for 2 more measures. 1, 2. Then it goes to a D for 4 beats, a C for 4 beats, a G for 4 beats, and a D for 4 beats. 1, right? So that is called a 12 bar blues. At that point, you would repeat it from the beginning and start all over. Now let's say we're in the key of A. So now I got to learn a whole new set of chords, right? So what do I have? I'm in the key of A. All right. The next chord is going to be a D. And there's also an E in there. So what we normally do, instead of saying all the letters, we assign numbers to these chords. The root or the first key chord that you're in is the 1 chord. So in the key of G, G is number 1. Okay? If I go to the C on the 5th and 6th bars, that is the 4th chord. G, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So far now we have a 1 chord and a 4 chord, right? Okay, at the last 4 measures, we go to the 5 chord. What's that going to be in G? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. G, A, B, C, D. A D is the 5 chord. C is the 4 chord. G is the 1 chord. All right? So let me share my screen here if I can. Okay, hopefully you can see this. what we're looking at here on line A, we have a 1 chord for 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. Then we have a 4 chord for 2 bars. Then we have a 1 chord for 2 bars. Then we have a 5, a 4, a 1, and a 5. So that is your basic 12-bar blues. Repeats over and over and over again. So every musician that gets up there, all you got to know is, hey man, it's a 12 bar. What key you in? Key of G. So you got the G, C, and D chords, and you just go at it, right? If you're in the key of A, 1, 4, 5, A, D, and E, you know 1, 4, 5 chords. So that's the way we talk with the 1, 4, 5 progressions. Okay, if there's any questions, you could throw those in the Facebook comments. And maybe Catherine could monitor those or someone, and if there's any questions out there, I could be glad to help answer any questions you might have. But let's talk about variations now. A lot of times you'll get up there and the leader will go, okay, we're going to do this tune, key of G, quick 4. You go, okay, what the heck's a quick 4? It's one of the variations on a 12-bar blues. So if you look down here on line D, instead of, if you look at the first 4, usually is 4 bars of key of G. We got the 1 chord. A quick 4, we're going to have a 1 chord, then a 4 chord in the second bar, and then go back to the 1 chord. And everything else stays the same. So that's the only difference between line A and line D. A quick 4 is going to have that 4 chord in there. So when you start it off, you're going to have the 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 1 chord, 4 chord, and so on. You would finish that line out and repeat it and keep it going. So if you look at these, there's variations on the 12-bar blues that you could talk about. You know, here's one here. Line B is exactly like line A, which is your standard progression. The only difference is, look at the 12th bar, the 12th measure. Instead of going to the 5 chord, we stay on the 1 chord. So we go 5, 4, 1, 1. Then it repeats. Okay, so I hope that sheds a little insight on what we're thinking about up there. You know, when we have the blues jam and people get up to jam, the 12 bar is the foundation, the bedrock of all the blues jams that you go to. And on top of that, I mean, you're going to have variations, maybe some exceptions. You could embellish it with other things, but basically it is the bedrock of the 12-bar blues. I mean, if you look at some song examples, okay, I'm not going to say anything too much tonight, just give you a little hint here. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, barking all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, barking all the time. So that's the 12-bar blues. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Yeah, blue, blue, blue suede shoes. Another 12-bar blues. Okay, how about? I came in last night about 10:30. Da 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 da. Do it again. Well, move it on over. Rock it on over. Another 12-bar blues. All these songs are based on the 12-bar blues. I feel that train coming round the bend. 12-bar blues, it goes from the E up to the A, then it'll hit the 5 chord, 4 chord, back to the 1 chord. All right? A lot of Eagles tunes. You know, this is getting away from the blues, but I'm just trying to show you that a lot of rock tunes, a lot of popular tunes, folk tunes, the 1, 4, and 5 chord are like the meat, the heart of a lot of tunes. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys understand a little bit more about us musicians getting up there and trying to jam a little bit.